17th, 2013. We're here today in Belleville, Ontario, right in front of the family courthouse at Century Place. What we're here today for is to raise public awareness of the issues regarding the MUSH sector, mainly children's aid societies. We're here, we have a petition for ombudsman oversight of children's aid and different sectors. And we got a few people here now. I know that the radio has mentioned it 2 or 3 times this morning, so we've got quite a few signatures already, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm Brenda Everall from Picton.
I'm Kelly Lebec.
And why are you here today?
To help you and the others raise accountability, or raise awareness for accountability that's desperately needed for the issues going on with the privately owned children's aid societies.
Yeah.
Like recently we've had a photo posted about the baby in the pot, stuff like that. Just, you know, the public's outraged, and hopefully we'll prove that through petitions that they're choosing.
And Kelly?
Hi, I'm here to promote the ombudsman oversight for the Children's Aid Society and how they're corrupted and taking children from families that are trying to look after their children and raise them on their own. And when they've asked for help, they've had their families taken away from them and kept away from them.
Thank you.
I've been around the block. love them anymore. I mean, they will later tell your children that you don't love them anymore. Please come sign our petition for oversight of Children's Aid Society, as this will protect the children of Ontario from the abuse, the massive, massive amount of abuse that is happening at the hands of private corporations. Did you know that the Child and Family Services Act states specifically that a child protection worker's job ends after the apprehension of a child? But for some reason, Children's Aid Societies are full of unregistered and unlicensed social workers using the title Child Protection Worker. The only reason they changed their name to Child Protection Worker was because of the sole fact that there was an act, there was a law that was put in place to regulate the social work profession. This act was called the Social Work and Social Service Work Act. It was given royal assent in 2002. This act basically says that there is a regulative college, the Ontario College of Social Workers and Social Service Workers. Every person that uses the title social worker, or expressly or even implied that they are practicing social work, has to be registered to this college by law. But yet, for some reason, under 5% of all Children's Aid Society workers are actually registered with this college. Mark Martush, the executive director of the Highland Shores Children's Aid Society, had public meetings where in the course of these meetings, I personally, along with other advocates, were able to get him to admit that he is, in fact, a social worker. But yet, he is unregistered with the College of Social Workers. This means that Mark Martush, the executive director of the Highland Shores Children's Aid Society, is in fact operating against the laws of Ontario by providing social work while being unregistered with the College of Social Workers. The reason the College of Social Workers was put in place is to regulate the social work profession, the same way that lawyers have to be registered with the bar, and teachers have to be registered with the College of Teachers, and doctors, and College of Physicians. There is the College of Social Workers. And this College of Social Workers is there for the purpose of regulating Children's Aid Society workers and other social work professions. They are going against the law. They regularly go against the law and they get away with it. Please come and sign our petition for ombudsman oversight of Children's Aid Societies to protect the children of Ontario. Children's Aid Societies in the province of Ontario are operating against the law. They do this on a regular basis and they get away with it. Did you know that Children's Aid Society workers, in some ways or others, can apprehend a child, and within 5 days they have to have a court date? Well, what they do is they purposely wait to enter any court documents into the court until sometimes minutes before they enter the courtroom. Here's the thing. If Children's Aid Society workers felt they had enough evidence to apprehend a child from their home, why do they feel that they do not have enough time to actually prepare until minutes before the court date 4 or 5 days later? This is not because Children's Aid Society workers don't have enough time. This is because Children's Aid Societies are purposely going against family laws to enter evidence late for the sole purpose of making it so that families cannot fight their case properly. Children's Aid Societies have an inexhaustible amount of legal representation. The parent has very little or none. Often parents cannot get legal aid because they make a little bit more money than poverty level. To get legal aid, you basically need to be at a poverty level. But if you're not at a poverty level, if you're a middle class parent, you may very well not be able to afford a lawyer or legal representation, but you will have to sit there against the Children's Aid Society, who has an inexhaustible amount of legal representation, and their sole purpose is not for the protection of children, but to fight in order to make it look like there's some sort of protection concern that warrants their children being apprehended or taken. Right now, it is statistically safer to be outside of the care of the Children's Aid Society rather than inside. In Prince Edward County, 5 Society of Prince Edward had not even completed basic criminal record checks on foster parents. You know, if you're a parent, you'll realize that if you want to go to your kid's school field trip, or if you want to maybe volunteer at the food bank, you'll need to have a criminal record check done. But according to the Prince Edward Children's Aid Society, you don't need to have a criminal record check to be a foster parent to take care of vulnerable children. There is a person, the manager of Children's Services for Highland Shores Children's Aid Society, Mr. Angus Franklin. This man recently posted on his Facebook page a picture of a baby boiling in a pot on a stove. And he thinks it's funny. But yet this guy, the guy that's supposed to be protecting children from such very things, from the same thing. But he, you know, he makes $122,000 a year by apparently protecting kids from, you know, being put in a pot on a stove. But yet he takes a picture of it, posted on his own Facebook page. But he won't get in trouble for that because he's a Children's Aid Society staff member. I have spoken to former CAS workers that spent years trying to get out of the Children's Aid Society, but they were afraid that if they got out and they spoke about what happened in that Children's Aid Society, that their own children may be taken from them. A lot of former workers in Children's Aid Societies are afraid to speak out. They're afraid because they're worried about their own kids getting taken. Children's Aid Societies are like the mob. You can get in, but you can't get out. Not if you have kids anyway. Because they won't protect you. If you're a Children's Aid Society worker and you want to leave because you know that there's immoral things going on, you may get your own children taken away. Please sign our petition for oversight of Children's Aid Society to protect the children of Ontario. The children need to be protected. They need to be protected from the Children's Aid Society. We do need Children's Aid Society. Children's Aid Societies are necessary for the protection of children because some parents do abuse their children. It does happen. But that doesn't mean they need to go into a house and apprehend kids and place them in a foster home just because somebody didn't like them, or just because somebody made some random phone call that was to be abusive and cause crap. Like, I mean, everybody knows this. Everybody in this courthouse knows what's going on with Children's Aid Societies. They're not oblivious to this. Every person in this family courthouse right here knows exactly what's going on. But they're not willing to stand up and do anything about it. Judges in that courthouse know that parents have little to no chance of fighting the CAS. Do you homeschool your children, or are you a single parent? You actually have a very good chance of getting your children apprehended if somebody doesn't like you. Like, if you're a single parent and you have somebody that doesn't like you, or somebody that's angry with you one day, they can call the Children's Aid Society, make up an allegation, and based on the simple fact that you're a single parent, you can have your children apprehended and gone forever. Children's Aid Society's only purpose is for their own financial gain. They are a business people. They are a private corporation that receives funding based on the number of children in care. Please come and sign our petition for ombudsman oversight of Children's Aid Societies, because this will protect the children of Ontario. In that courthouse, that if people knew what was going on, you could have movies about it. You would think that come out of that courthouse, you would absolutely believe that they're lying to you, and they've got to be joking. Because the courthouse, the family court, is nothing more than a kangaroo court designed for the sole purpose of making everyone money except for the children, and being in the best interest of everyone except for the children and families. In family court, everybody wins except for the children and families. That is the way family court works. And people know that in criminal court, okay? In criminal court, it's open. Everybody can go in, everybody can see what's going on, told that you have 5 days to go to court. You need to pay for an expensive lawyer. You do not get disclosure. So you don't get the evidence they're going to use against you. They don't tell you. They don't give you that information. They actually don't even tell you all your concerns. You legally have the right to get this information, but they won't give it to you. And then if you want to tell your story, if you want to tell people what happened to you in that horrendous place called family court, you can get charged yourself. You can go to jail for telling your story. You can go to jail for telling people what abuses happened to you in that courthouse. Because family court is secret. They tell you that it's because they don't want identities of children to be announced in the newspaper. But you know what? If you're involved in family court, you know better. If you're involved with the Children's Aid Society, you know better.
I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my